Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Kitete Koriya Aikya
Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Kitete Koriya Aikya
Adana Kori Homane Asha
Adana Kori Homane Asha
Shri Guru Charane Rati Say Uttama Gati
Jai Shri Guru Charane Rati
Say Uttama Gati Ye Prasade Pure Sarvayasha
Aye Prashade Pure Sarvo
Chakshudana Dilo Jai Jane Jane Prabhu Se Jane Jane Prabhu Se Divya Gyan Nide Prakashito Prema Bhakti Jaha Hoite Avidya Vinasha Jate Avidya Vinasha Jate Vede Gai Jahada Charito Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janada Bandhu Karuna Sindhu Adama Janada Bandhu Lokanath Lokeda Jivana Aha Prabhu Kododoya Deho Mode Padachaya Deho Mode Padachaya He Adama Loilo Sharana Duapade Loinu Sharana Nisada Nilahan Sada Nilahan Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu. You need a book?
Shri
You know,
Krishna
you know.
Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Karo Mohore
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Karo More
Toma Bina Ke Dayalu Jagat Matari
Toma Bina Ke Dayalu Jagat Matari
Ai Patita Pavana Hetu Tavaya Avataro
Gita Pavana Hetu Tavaya Vatara
Motamo Patita Prabhu Nakai Viharo
Mosama Gita Prabhu Napai Daya
Nityananda Premananda Suki
Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi
Pavolokana Koro Ami Bodhuki
Nita Bolo Kana Koro Ami Bolo
Daya Koro Sitapati Advaita Gosai
Doya Koro Sita Bhakti Advaita Gosai
Dava Kripa Polokai Chaitanya Nitai
Bhava Kripa Bole Pai Chaitanya Nitai
Gora Prema Maya Danu Pandit Gadadharo
Orate Mamoya Danu Andika Radhara
Srinivasa Haridasa Daya Rasa Bharo
Srinivasa Haridasa Daya Dasa
Ahasvaru Sanatana Rupara Bhupato
Swadhutana Jana Supara Gurata
Bhakta Yuga Srivaha Prabhulokanato
Vata Juga Shivaha Prabhulokana
Jai Jaya Koro Siya Satya Prabhu Srinivasa
Doya Koro Shriya Jaya Prabhu Srinivasa
Chandra Sangamage
Ramachandra Samage Narottama
Jaya Koro Prabhupada Sri Gaura Prakasho
Jaya Koro Prabhupada Sri Gaura Prakasa
Tava Janati Pamage Yadamodayo
Bhava Janati Pamage Yadamayasa
Jaya Koro Prabhupada Sri Gaura Prakasho
Jaya So why don't you come? Everyone can see you a little better.
Well, I might
You have to pop out,
yeah,
huh?
yeah,
Okay. Well, before you go, maybe you can sing one song. I was thinking maybe
Judgy
Rag.
Golden Hoto's
Okay.
long overdue as
Okay,
well.
let's sing that.
Give me 1 second. Judgy Golden Hoto. The Judgy for first line. I'm not sure.
We'll be under Y or J, depending on which kirtan guide you're using, Bengali style or Sanskrit style. The yellow one will be under J.
135.
Jai Amarnath Prabhu.
Please come.
In the thick yellow book, yeah, it's 135.
In the Spanish book?
I think it's a similar
You have
to the
a
chart.
mat for him?
Yes, yes, of course.
Something?
There's two here.
Prabhu, here, Prabhu.
Or, well, we don't want to
Sit
put
down
our
here. You can-
we don't want to put our back to Gurudev, but
No, no.
Jadi Golden Hoto. Jadi Golden Hoto. Obiki Oito Emona Dori Kambe. Jadi Golden Hoto. Obiki Oito If Lord Gaura had not come, then what would have become of us? How could we have maintained our lives? If he had not come, then how could we know of the glories of Sri Radha and the topmost limit of ecstatic love of Krishna.
Who would have had the capacity to render ecstatic devotional service, following the mood of the damsels of Braja? Indeed, the clever expertise of the Braja Gopis is essential for entering the supremely sweet forest of Vrinda, Sri Vrindavan.
Sing again and again the wonderful qualities of Lord Gauranga while keeping your heart simple. In the ocean of this material world, not a single person has ever seen such a magnanimous and merciful Lord.
Even though I am chanting Gauranga, somehow I have not melted in ecstatic love. So how have I maintained the burden of this body? How is it that the Creator has given this Vasu a stone in place of his heart?
Hare Krishna. Vaishnava, but he's feeling this. He's showing how a real devotee actually feels. So we're singing this from his heart's expression, bowing down. Beautiful prayer. Really, nothing. There's so many temples here. They don't even know about Mahaprabhu, but they wouldn't even be here. Vasudev Ghosh. We've got many beautiful songs, and we sing his name every evening in the arti. It's the line Vasudev Ghosh. He's singing. What's that? Narayani Kori Chamana Tulaya Sanjaya Mukunda Vasu Ghosh Harikaya. Narahari's doing a chara and this beautiful art and this transcendental art is going on, and he's singing beautifully.
Rachel, do you see something?
Page 122, Nitai Padakama. Nitai Padakamala, Koti Chandra Shushitala.
Nitai Padakamala, Koti Chandra Shushitala.
Nitai Padakamala, Koti Chandra Shushitala.
Nitai
I'd like to sing one more song. I'd like to borrow someone's book. It's Radha Kunda Tata Kunda Kunda Kutir. Radha Kunda page 220 in this one. Everyone has it. Here, 224.
Give them that. Give them. Here.
Radha Kunda Tata Kunda Kutira. Govardhana Parvata Yamuna Tira. Radha Kunda Tata Kunda Kutira. No one, you don't have it. You're on a different song, is it?
Yeah.
Yellow book. What is page in yellow book?
It's 220 here.
222.
Radha Kunda Tata.
That's it.
24 yellow book.
24.
Gurudev liked also. Right.
Guru Maharaj never did this, right?
We have the beautiful recording of Sridhar Maharaj and Gurudev singing the song. Right? Prabhu is pointing out this song is very dear to our Gurus. It's glorifying all the places connected with Krishna's pastimes, including Radha Kund, where we visited today, Govardhan, listing all of these.
Why didn't you read the translation first? No.
Actually, the translation is in the song because it's listing the names, the names. Okay, is everyone ready? Radha Kunda Tata Kunda Kutira.
Radha Kunda Tata Kunda Kutira.
Govardhana Parvata Jamuna Tira. The grove dwelling on the banks of Radhakund, Govardhan mountain, the banks of river Jamuna.
Kusum Sarovar Lake, Mansaganga River, the rolling waves of Jamuna, the daughter of the sun.
Place of the Rasa dance and Gokula, the gentle breezes, the trees, vines, and the tashu palms of Braja.
The birds and animals, the sweet air of spring, the peacocks, bumblebees, the flute's sweet song.
Flute horn, his footsteps, raging clouds in the sky, season of spring, the moon, the conch, hand cymbals.
I know all these things are nourishing the pastime of divine couple. I can feel they arouse the holy pastimes of the Lord.
I can never leave all these things so dear to me. Without them, I know I'll surely die.
Kirli O'Connor says, Sri Bhakti Vinoda, you are the only light of my life.
Is this the right time? 8:20? Time goes very quickly. We'll have to hear from Alvana next time it's give time. No? Yeah, the time is so short. I'll say a few words. We feel we are home here. This Govardhan ashram, and very dear to our Gurudev. Here you see what is called a Pushpa Samadhi. For those who don't know, Pushpa is flower, and Samadhi is indicating where a great soul is staying in a state of meditation. Because generally in the Vedic culture, the body is burned, right? And it is said to help the body, the soul, to move on to its next birth, become free from their attachments. But in the case of great souls, their divine form is preserved in the ground, and we consider they are in a mood of meditation, right? They are continuing their service in this meditation. And our Gurudev, he actually wanted his samadhi to be here in Govardhan, but it was not so practical to bring his divine form here. But so instead, Srila Charjamar, he made this, what is called a Pushpa Samadhi. Pushpa is flower, and so the idea is that something from the original Samadhi is taken, and we will be going there in Navadvip, like some flower, some earth, some cloth, and it is placed here. And then it is considered non-different from the original Samadhi. And this Morti, this deity form of our Gurudev, very beautiful, is also been manifest here. So our Gurudev wanted to be here, and he also talked about retiring here. He met, there's one informal, talk he had once, and he was saying that he would like to come and retire here with his friends, and he mentioned some of the sannyasis, the ashram march, and the Swami march, and we will relish shlokas together, and our Gurudev, he also had some compositions that he was working on, but he never had time, because he was taking care of his children. There was one composition that
Sridhar Maharaj had started and asked our Gurudev to continue. And our Gurudev was very talented, in Sanskrit and Bengali composition. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj had started one composition, asked our Gurudev to continue that. And he also had some other inspiration of his own, some commentaries he wanted to write. But he became so busy in the managerial aspect of the mission, right? And so he wasn't able to do that. But that was his heart's desire, to come and spend his last days here. But that was not possible in the end. And it is our good fortune. I've mentioned before a few times, we were here with our Gurudev in 2008, and he was in such a happy and relaxed mood, and actually a mood which I hadn't seen anywhere else, very, very at home, and exchanging with the devotees in a very close way, giving personal instruction in a way which I hadn't really seen before. It's a very, very sweet mood. And I have to say, with Uma Didi, some of you have met her. She tends to keep to herself and a little shy of crowds, but her service here is just phenomenal. And I remember when she told me, like just before she came to stay here, it was 12 years ago, she was telling me about her vision, because actually our Gurudev also talked about, and you'll see in some of our songs, the songs of Sharanagati by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, there are particular flowers, which are dear to the Lord and which are particularly associated with Govardhan, Vrindavan, and our Gurudev also talked about that, like manifesting this here, and I remember Uma Didi discussing that, and now I'm coming here after so many years and seeing like she's actually manifesting this, and it's just incredible to see that. So it's actually, if anybody is thinking of spending time in India, I would say this would be the place, this would be the place. And another point Keshavananda mentioned the other day is that, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he did not want to make a big mission, actually. You know, that was our Gurudev's, inspiration to spread this all over the world. In order to glorify his guru, to glorify his guru, he broke his guru's instruction. Can break the rules sometimes, with that adjustment. So one thing Srila Sridhar Maharaj said was that, we don't need to make so many temples, but, we will have our temple in Navadvip. This is the main place. And then he mentioned the other principal pilgrimage places for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, Jagannath Puri. And then he said, if you make something in the Vrindavan area, make it in Govardhan. And Gurudev was not originally planning to make something in Vrindavan, but he did that in the end because he saw the Western devotees, they like to go there, and so if they're going there, then he wants to give some shelter for them, so they don't have to stay in some random place, So, but Govardhan, that was particularly where Srila Sridhar Maharaj instructed him, make it here, this is our place, this is our home. So this is, really very, very important place for us. And we were mentioning the other day that, every place in, we consider Vrindavan and Navadvip to be non-different. What is the one difference? That Navadvip is Vrindavan in a mood of distribution. When, Srila Sridhar Maharaj expresses very beautifully in one of his songs, when in our Arati song actually, Saraswata Arati, Vrindavan dressed in benevolence, magnanimity, generosity. This is Navadvip. So Vrindavan plus this mood of distribution, giving to everyone, sharing. That sweetness of Vrindavan, it is being distributed in Navadvip. So this is the distinction. But then because of this non-difference, then every place in Vrindavan has a corresponding part in Navadvip. And so the place where our mat has been established, it is the island. Navadvip is spiritually conceived of as 9 islands. And ours, Koladvip, it is called, it is said to be Gupta Govardhan, hidden Govardhan. Brajamohini mentioned this the other day also. So where our mat is in Navadvip, it is in the corresponding part of Govardhan where we are now. So it is all very, very significant, everything, every detail. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj also started our mat in our temple in Navadvip with Govardhan Shilas, these stones from the hill. That was how he began. So Govardhan is really our conception. It is our foundation. It is everything. And this is something, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he also discussed. And maybe we'll save for tomorrow, we can have some more discussion on that. Saraswati Thakur, he also, as similar to our Gurudev, he expressed the aspiration to spend his last days in Govardhan. And our Gurudev actually, maybe we'll say it now, we can say it again tomorrow because it's very important. This guest house where our gentlemen are staying now, it is Dayita Das Seva Kunja. Right? Dayita Das is the internal name of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. And we hear that he expressed this aspiration, and he told one of his disciples, please make something for me, make some construction, some place for me to stay. And so this Balaram, he didn't get to doing that, but that was the instruction, that was the desire of Saraswati Thakur. And then Saraswati Thakur, he left early in the morning. It was by Western calculation, the 1st of January, 1937. And that night, this Balaram here in Govardhan, he had in his dream, he had this vision of Saraswati Thakur, coming to him in this like kind of mad state, like barely dressed in neat clothes, in this like state of divine madness. And he said to this Balaram, I have come. And Balaram, he arose in the morning, he was so impressed by this vision, he thought, this is not just an ordinary dream, And so he went and he sent a telegram to the disciples of Saraswati Thakur who were with him in Calcutta, asking, how is Prabhupada, How is he? What is happening? And they told him, they sent back the reply, oh, he just left, you know. So then we have that understanding. Saraswati Thakur came to Govardhan, you know, and in remembrance of that, our Gurudev, he gave that name. It's a very special name, very, very significant name. Dayita Das Seva, the place of service of Dayita Das, you know, Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur. So Gurudev was like supplying that service. And we hear actually that our Gurudev, while the building was being constructed, he mentioned, oh, I have a name for this place, but I'm not going to say what it is now, because if I do, everybody will copy me. Because it's so perfect. The name is so perfect. You know, and something similar happened I heard, like in our mott, and you'll see on like the, what is it called, the flagpole, that there's this chakra, spear, and the particular design that our Gurudev made there. Later on, there were other temples that copied that. It's so perfect, so beautiful, you know. So our Gurudev, he said, I have the name, but I'm going to wait till the last moment to announce it, you know, because otherwise everyone will copy it. Like, that's how perfect it is, you know, so perfect. You know. So there's so many important things that are connected with this place, and we can also say more tomorrow about that. And another thing I wanted to say before we end for today is, you know, today we're walking on this divine land, you know, trying to walk on our heads, as Srila Sridhar Maharaj says. You know. I can imagine Dulal Krishna could do that. He was leaping around so lightly, so nimbly. You know, I can imagine that you could do that. But you know, there are so many histories, you know, Leela we hear of the Goswamis. You know, these 6 Goswamis who we've been mentioning. And we went to a place of Sanatan Goswami today. We went to a place of Jiva Goswami today, a place of Raghunath Goswami today. And there are so many wonderful pastimes, you know, connected with their residents, you know, here. And one thing I wanted to share before we close for today was one incident, and with Jiva Goswami. You know, many of you know this history. Jiva Goswami, he was the nephew of Rupa and Sanatan. He was more junior amongst the Goswamis. And he was a brilliant scholar. You know, Bhakti Vinod Thakur described him as the greatest philosopher ever known to humankind. Brilliant. He wrote, well, what is it? Something like 40,000 Sanskrit verses. You know, the Srimad Bhagavatam is 18,000 verses, to give you some perspective. It's huge. And he wrote something like 40,000 verses, elaborating upon the inner purport of the scriptures and establishing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's conception. But one incident that I was remembering today, many of you know that, is Jiva Goswami, Srila Sridhar Maharaj describes him as Jiva Dyer Abhirakshitam. He has this mood of a defender, of a fighter, protector, you know, and he's not afraid to stand up for something and make a noise if necessary, you know, in the spirit of service. And so there's one incident with, there was one scholar. There's this culture in India of debate, you know, it's a long-standing thing. And there would sometimes be these scholars who would travel throughout India finding people to debate with, and in order to establish themselves, you know, make a name for themselves. And there's one title, Digvijay Pandit, which means scholar who conquers in all directions. They like to earn this title for themselves, all conquering scholar. And so there was one of these scholars who came to Vrindavan, and he heard about Rupa and Sanatan Goswamis, who were these brilliant scholars. And he went to Sanatan and, oh, will you have some debate with me? And Sanatan didn't want to waste his time, you know. So he said, oh, it's okay, I'm a little busy, you know, please excuse me. And so Sanatana Goswami, so then that Pandit, he said, oh, well then will you sign this paper? You remember this story. Will you sign this paper saying that you've been defeated by me? And Sanatana said, yeah, sure, no problem. Which is a wonderful teaching, right? Like, why do we want to waste our time in some ego battle, Somebody wants honor, give them honor, right? And so Sanatana signs the paper, and then he goes to Rupa Goswami. He says, oh, I just defeated your guru, right? Sanatana's his older brother. And I just defeated your guru, and what about you? Will you debate with me? And Rupa Goswami is the same response, oh, I'm a little busy, sure, I'll sign the paper, no problem. You can tell everyone that you defeated me, no problem. And then this scholar hears that they have this nephew who's even more brilliant. And if he doesn't defeat that nephew, he hasn't got anything, So then he goes and finds Jiva Goswami. And Jiva Goswami's not having any of this. And he says, oh, I just defeated your gurus, and what about you, And Jiva Goswami is saying, oh, really? You defeated my gurus? Do you have some proof? Oh, I have this paper with their signatures. So let me see that paper. So he shows it to Jiva Goswami. Jiva Goswami rips it up. and then he says, now deal with me. Deal with me. Let us have some discussion. And so then Jiva Goswami has very quickly defeats him. And chastises him, and he tells him, you came to the ocean of nectar, you couldn't get one drop. Who are Rupa and Sanatana? They are such great, exalted devotees, and you couldn't get anything. Like, you were so unfortunate. And then Rupa Goswami, he heard about this incident, and Rupa Goswami wasn't happy. And so he told Jiva Goswami, and this is the point I was reflecting on, that he told Jiva Goswami, you cannot stay in Vrindavan if you are not humble. So you cannot stay you have to go. So he sent him, you have to go. You cannot stay here anymore. And actually Jiva Goswami was expressing a different mood of humility, right? His mood of humility was he's serving his gurus. It was not coming from his own ego, right? It is a different expression of humility. In order to defend the dignity of his gurus, he's taking this strong stance, right? But Rupa Goswami, he was not ready to consider that in that moment. And so he gave him this instruction: you cannot stay here if you are not humble. You can only stay in Vrindavan in a humble mood. So he said, you have to go back to your hometown in East Bengal, now Bangladesh. And Jiva Goswami is devastated, right? Because his whole world is Rupa Goswami and serving him in Vrindavan. And so Jiva Goswami decides just to fast, fast until the end. And so he's sitting on the banks of the Jamuna River, and he had some work that he had to finish, some composition. So he thought, I will finish this and I will end my life with fasting. And then meanwhile, Sanatana Goswami found out what had happened. And so he came by and he saw Jiva Goswami, what happened? And Jiva Goswami told him. Then Sanatana went to Rupa to try to sort the situation out. And so Sanatana said to Rupa, he said, what are Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's principal instructions? And Rupa said, there's this Vaishnava expression that he quoted, Jive Doya Name Ruchi Vaishnava Seva. And Jive Doya means to give mercy to the Jiva souls, to the living souls. Name Ruchi means to taste the name, to chant the name, to serve the holy name of the Lord. And then Vaishnava Seva, to serve the Vaishnavas, to serve the sadhus. But the first point, there's a play on words, right? Jive Doya, because Jiva means the living soul, but Jiva is also the name of Jiva Goswami. So Jive Doya, be merciful to the Jiva, So then Sanatana said, well, you just said Jive Doya, to be merciful to the Jivas, but there is one Jiva who's sitting out there on the bank of the Jamuna, and he's in need of mercy, So why are you not giving mercy to him? So in this way, they resolved that. But I was thinking about this point today, that when we are here, we are trying to move in this very careful way, in this mood of humility, and we want to consider at all times the Dham is above us, right? Everything is above us here, and we don't want to be like, like they say, a bull in a china shop, coming in this very awkward way and breaking everything, No, we are trying to move in a quiet and a humble way, and we want to put ourselves in a posture of receiving mercy, right? And we also think that all of these divine souls, they are here in some subtle form, right? Maybe we cannot physically see them, but they are here in a subtle form. And so we want to invite their grace, and we can think, if we are good boys and girls, maybe they will bless us. They will see we are here. We are coming here in a humble and gentle mood. Then they will give their blessings to us. So I was thinking about that today. Okay, maybe we'll stop there before we go too late. Anyone want to bring up anything else or ask any question or anything like that? Or very happy Naveen Krishna Prabhu has joined us. We have a Naveen Krishna in Govardhan, and we have another Naveen Krishna in Vrindavan. Actually, you look similar also. Very similar, yeah. One is Russian, the other is American. I'm probably not the first person who said that. Very, very interesting. Okay, and so tomorrow's program, there will be decoration service opportunities headed by Uma Didi. Tomorrow is the festival. We're supposed to begin 9:30, you said, huh? Okay, so we're going to start 9:30. We'll see if that happens. But I suppose we're going to try for that. And then there will be decoration seva, putting up flowers and other things. You can speak with Uma Didi about that, or Keshavananda Prabhu. And also chopping vegetables. I think that opportunity will also be there. You want to say something?
We have questions here from Pradyuma Das. Did Mibai get initiated by Jiva Goswami?
Sorry, what is it?
Did Mibai get initiated by Jiva Goswami?
I don't know. Actually, our Gurudev, he made the point that often we don't know these things, like that you'll have to search hard to find out who is whose guru. Because like nowadays in our Western culture, we kind of make a big fuss about this, or who's your guru, but in the Indian culture, it's not so much like that, And in the time of Mahaprabhu, many were giving initiation. It was like spontaneous, organic, and they're all connected to that same divine source, and it's not always clear, who is whose. And then another point is there's diksha and there's shiksha, right? So the diksha connection, who gives the formal initiation, that's not always given so much importance, right? But who's giving the shiksha, that is everything, right? So we don't know, it's not always so clear. So you have to do some research, do some dusty old books, to find this information. But simple answers, I don't know. Well, maybe Prabhu Hari Haraya Nama Krishna can lead us.
Yes, anybody?
No, you can sing it. Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Deva Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai.
Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Nama.
Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Nama.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namah. Gopala Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudaram. Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan. Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra. Madhava Shiva
other announcement, we're going to try and leave by 2:30 tomorrow, which is a little ambitious, but it seems like there's a road that closes at 4, so it'll be more difficult to get to Vrindavan if we leave too late. So we're going to hire a bus. It's an 18-seater, and hopefully we can squeeze everyone on, and whoever's left over, we can hop into auto rickshaws.
So we're not coming back here after Vrindavan?
I mean, of course you can, but the main group, no, we're going to be in Vrindavan until the 13th, and then that morning we'll take a train to Delhi. And then we have the train to Calcutta from Delhi on the 13th. Yeah, our time is short, unfortunately. So yeah, if you could try to, have your rooms, everything packed up and clean, and then we can try to be ready to go. If the program's early, then it won't be so much of a problem. We'll see. Jai.
জয় ওম বিশ্ববাদ নিত্য লীলা প্রভু বিষ্ণু স্তোত্র শ্রীমৎ ভক্তি সুন্দর গোবিন্দ দেব গোস্বামী গুরু মহারাজ কি জয় জয় ওম বিশ্ববাদ নিত্য লীলা প্রভু বিষ্ণু স্তোত্র শ্রীমৎ ভক্তি রক্ষক শ্রীধর গোস্বামী মহারাজ কি জয় ওম বিশ্ববাদ নিত্য লীলা প্রভু বিষ্ণু স্তোত্র শ্রীমৎ ভক্তি সিদ্ধান্ত সরস্বতী ঠাকুর প্রভুপাদ কি জয় ওম বিশ্বাস গৌর কি সত্যাগ্রহ মহারাজ ওম বিশ্বাস সচ্চিদানন্দ ভক্তিনাথ ঠাকুর ওম বিশ্বাস জগন্নাথ দাস মহারাজ রূপানন্দ গুরুবর সর্ব গোস্বামী বিন্দু কি অনন্ত কোটি গোস্বামী মন্ডলী কি হরিকথা রাসের পাঠ কীর্তনে অংশগ্রহণকারী সমস্ত ভক্তবৃন্দ কি জয় all Eastern and Western devotees ki jai jai Harinam Sankirtan ki jai jai Om jai Vishakha Didi ki jai jai Brajamohan ji jai jai समस्त भक्त jai
प्रभु अमरनाथ प्रभु की जय नाम संकीर्तन की जय
jai Gaur
Hari
Shaka Didi ki
many days after, they did in our tea, when you